Ward.
And I'm Tim Niederreiter, and this is episode 94 of the podcast. Welcome to Of Mooks and Monsters.
Yes, and today we're going to be doing an episode of how to find the right voice for your NPC or PC. Because if you're playing and you want to just make something different with your voice, this episode is for you. So, as many of you already know, I'm an actor. I'm a working actor currently, mostly stage, but also improv and some film. So when I have, and I tend to have a lot of characters in my worlds, there is that way you have to really think about where to make the distinctions. For example, I had one of my favorite NPCs that I created was a gangster by the name of Nux Acerbi. Now, Nux was this big ex-boxer gangster, and since he was so I put it on a Jersey accent, and I made him a little punch drunk, so he kind of slurred it a couple of times. And he's also very aggressive, so he talks like this. Does that sound like the Nux that you knew, Tim?
I remember that, yeah, briefly, because we didn't meet him.
You Nancy boys. Yeah, so just and through those just my tweaks with my voice, I'm able to display what this character can do, what this character is. And you don't have to be a professional actor to do it. Yeah. You can just find different opportunities to. Well, I guess the best way to do it is just kind of get some examples. Tim, why don't you throw out a couple of characters?
Okay. About a middle-aged veteran who also believes in the chupacabra. I don't know. Is that close enough or what?
No, that's a good start. That's a good start. So, middle-aged veteran that believes in the chupacabra. So, depending on where we are, so we have a couple of things. So, we have middle-aged, so their voice is going to be a little more mature. They're a veteran, so they might be a little more grizzled. Mm-hmm. If they're a little more grizzled, they might be very straightforward, depending on their military experience. They're straight talkers. And if they believe in chupacabras, they're a little unhinged. They're conspiracy theorists. There's a little bit of suspicion in their voice all the time.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I mean, it's simple as that. You really don't have, if it's just like an NPC that just comes up right away, you can just take those age, gender, beliefs, and there's plenty you can do with that. Another great option is to, just say that you had a character. And the only way you can really describe them if they were going to be played in a movie, who would have played them?
Yeah, it's a good way to start. I do that a lot for my books, actually.
Yeah. Because the knight that's going to be played by Heath Ledger is going to be a lot different than the knight played by John Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you could just. And the beautiful thing about doing impressions, even if they're bad, is that you can discover a totally different voice. Right. I discovered that I can do a great Joe Pesci by doing Eartha Kitt.
Okay, so actually, but I think John. I'm maybe getting my actors mixed up, but John Goodman is my buddy's died face down in the mud so you could drink that wine. And that, we were back in Agincourt. He's the guy from, he played
he's from The
friend,
Big Lebowski.
the Big Lebowski, right? That's my buddy's died face down in the mud so you could do this or whatever. I forget what the rest of the line, but yeah.
Anyway. Don't fucking roll! Shomer Shabbos! Yeah.
Yeah, with an explicit rating, people.
Yeah. But finding those characters, finding where was I? Oh yeah, Eartha Kitt. Say that you try to do a Peter Lorre and it comes out totally different. That's great.
Yeah, as long as the character, if it's the character and it's distinctive, that's almost better if it's different from what you were trying to do. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I should also warn that when you're doing a voice for a character, you need to keep it, must be able to, you should write down some notes about what this character is, what they're like, if they have a certain accent. Also, don't try to damage your vocal cords trying to get, like if you're playing a woman character and you don't really want to do that much, all you have to do is just kind of lighten your voice and give enough breath. Like I'm in this play right now where I have to play the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. And if I do it wrong, I could really, I end up kind of going out there like, oh shit, my voice is not having it today. And I need my voice for podcasts and stuff like that.
And for acting, playing all sorts of characters.
So I really need to take that I need to really support that voice and go, who is this? What is your name, child? Because that way I'm able to do that without hurting myself. So if you're going to do a voice, don't do it if it hurts. Try something else.
Right.
There's
a reason. There's a reason the guys who sing death metal songs don't. I mean, most of them are heavy smokers, and also most of them get out of it after a little while because it's not good for you. So yeah, that kind of any voice that's weird, that's that different from from your normal voice, is going to be challenging.
Oh, absolutely! Like Corpse Grinder.
Dangerous. Yeah.
From Cannibal Corpse. You listen to an interview with that guy, and he sounds like a. Geez, what's the best way to describe it? Just a corpse grinder. He sounds like someone that would be named Corpse Grinder. Also, Tom Waits, years of alcohol and bourbon and drug use. When he talks like this.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Actually, that reminds me of just another voice that I remember was pretty distinctive from, and it does relate a little bit to the music scene, but from the cartoon Metalocalypse, there's the character of Willie Murderface, who originally the way they got his voice was by putting paper towels in the voice actor's mouth. They'd roll paper towels and put them in his mouth, and he talk like this. And it's an extremely silly voice. Food?
Yeah, he's such a like distinct voice on that because he doesn't sound like someone like Nathan Explosion sounds like what you expect a metal band member to sound like, because he sounds like a garbage.
He sounds like a garbage truck. He roars. He's loud. Yeah. Murderface is kind of whiny, but he's also kind of gross sounding. It's like, okay.
He's very nasally.
Yeah.
And he definitely has that mush mouth thing going on.
Oh, that's like also another cartoon character that's a really good example is, of course, Dr. Zoidberg from Futurama, which we talked about a while ago.
He's a marble mouth.
He was a bit of a marble mouth.
Yeah. What's that movie called? It's called Behind the Voice. It was on Netflix. There's for our audience, there was a great documentary about voice actors on Netflix, and they interviewed everyone from Jim Cummings to Joe. I think it was I think Tara Strong was there as well. Billy West, just everybody and anybody in voice acting today. And
Yeah.
they really you learn so much watching that thing. Just like not only how the business works and how they get their jobs, but there's also like some technique in there that I never really thought about before. And
Yeah.
it's great. If you ever want to learn how to do if you're ever interested in that, I highly recommend that movie. Um yeah, I would also say on this topic, say that we have like a monster.
Yeah. No, I like monster voices.
Mm-hmm. And
But these can vary a lot as well,
you
of
can
course.
yeah, Tim, what there like what was you've done quite a few monster voices.
Yeah, and they can be, they can be the more sibilant. I can't really do voices that on command that easily. I'm pretty bad at voices compared to you. But let me see. You can do more, if you got a serpentine monster, talk a little more like that. You've got a big hulking monster. Maybe that's not big enough, but the gutter or the squeaky little goblin. It's you can there's a lot of range you can do there. That I can't
Yeah.
fully execute.
But even right then, you just you showed how easy it is for people to just go and give because your players don't need like an Oscar-winning performance.
No,
They just
hints.
need like a little bit of something.
Right. It's not
Yeah,
all. It's not
just a
necessarily.
hint.
You're not an actor necessarily. If you're a game master, not everyone's going to be as good at voices as Rob is, but
Yeah,
that's okay. Yeah.
and I lean on that because it's one of my strong suits. I'm not uh, with systems and combat. I'm a little bit wonky. I'm not that good at math. Um, but this is where I shine, and this is where I have the most fun with these with this.
Yeah, and characters can really be defined by their voice, and but it can also be interesting if you go the opposite way and you have them be surprisingly, for example, the goblin that's surprisingly tough, or the snake that's not deceptive, stuff like that. Maybe the snake's really honest for some reason, and isn't going to lie to you
that
ever.
one game I played.
Yeah.
That one game we played on the channel on the podcast where I played the gunslinger.
Oh right. Yeah. Oh, that was the big
just
10 liars one. Yeah.
Yeah. And something was going on with my throat that day, or I don't know.
Well, your character was female.
Yeah, and my character was female, and I just spoke in my normal voice. But people were making cracks at I just okay, this is a really heavy smoker.
Yeah.
I chop another cigar. So then you sound like a lunch lady. The classic lunch lady Doris.
or like Dr. Girlfriend from the Venture Brothers.
Oh, Dr. Girlfriend is
she looks like Jackie Kennedy. However,
yeah.
she sounds
like this.
Yeah. I love that show.
Oh man. Yeah.
But but that's the kind of thing, subverting expectations through voices is pretty cool. And it's a good way to do. It's a good thing to do sometimes.
Mm-hmm. And another little hint, because I think this might be a little bit of a shorter episode, but think about people in your life and not like the cadence of their voice, how some people talk. Because I tend to talk, my cadence is very dog-like. It's very whereas I have a friend Ben and he talks with this inflection that takes pauses at certain moments, and when he gets into something, it gets a little more flowy. But there are these times where it's like that.
Yeah. And you don't necessarily want to do there's a lot of different styles too. There's the newscaster voice where the number of ambulances on the scene has doubled, but so has the number of injuries. I'm sorry, I slipped into the noir voice too because I was on my mind. It's like that. See, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, see, that's great. See, sometimes you want to be in the 1920s. See, yeah.
Yeah, you want to go back to it, the movie Double Indemnity. It's a great movie. Yeah. Anyway,
it's a bee's knees.
But the way, what'd you say?
It's a bee's knees.
Exactly. So, yeah. So when you do different styles of speaking, you really do. You also convey a very different character. And if the character was a goblin who's speaking like a 1920s gangster, well, that'd be hilarious, and it might really make sense for that goblin. You know, he's a little crime goblin from some fantasy city or something. There you go. He's now a goblin mafioso.
I would also caution players, PCs, NPCs, that you should make your characters understandable, unless they're meant to be understandable. Because if you're going out there trying to do some outrageous French accent and people cannot understand the word you are saying, you need to take it down a notch.
Yeah, good advice. One last thing that I had to add. Oh, go on. Yeah, sorry.
I'll go right ahead.
I was going to add that.
No
that if you're doing a voice, you should be able to be comfortable with that voice. You know, if you, like with me, I often just eschew voices because though I'm realizing now I probably shouldn't do that so much, but eschewing voices because I'm not comfortable with trying to remember how each character sounded.
And that's fine. And that's totally legitimate.
Yeah. But trying to be consistent is I think that's pretty cool. If you can do that, that's well worth it. And then also if you just do one character's voice, it could really make them stand out, kind of like in Sin City or other Frank Miller graphic novels where there's just one color on a page or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else is black and white. But anyway, yeah. So Rob, anything else you want to add?
Mm-hmm. I'd say that, this was, as it says, like if you're comfortable with it, try some of these things out. I think they add to the world. I think they add to your player's experience. I also like if you're not too comfortable, maybe just try it with one or two characters that mean something. Even if it's just like a monster or the goblin that talks like he's in the 20s. Don't be shy. It's your game.
Yeah.
But other than that, I hope this helped you in some way, or I hope this helped give you ideas for future characters and NPCs in the world. But this has been Of Mooks and Monsters. You can find us wherever podcasts can be found, Stitcher, etc. You can email us at podcast@mentalcellarpublications.com. Our archive is on mentalcellarpublications.com. You can find us on both YouTube and Facebook. You can find both of us on Twitter. I'm at StageHat, Tim's at TNeedAWriter, and that's about it.
Excellent. Goodbye, humans.
Goodbye, Marky.
See you later, folks.